Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our 7th Sea Dead Men Tales. I'm the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. Last we left off with our crew, we opened up with being introduced to Katarina, or Kat, or Julie, depending on who you're talking to and what time of day it is, apparently. In the bookshop, in the company of a Vaticine nun named Angelina Guardia, who is a member of Sophia's daughters. She helped the young Lucani heir traverse out of Vodachi into what is now Ison. We got a little bit of a recap of the trip through 5 Sails and up through the Ison countryside, and the differences between Ison and Vodachi became very clear as we got to see a little bit more of May's house towards the end of the episode. But we did get to see a little interactions with Bertold and one of the officers from the militia that protects this little town. And May offered to take care of him if he was more than unusually hurt, to which Bertold negated any offers of assistance or anything like that. We did not have Freki with us at the table, so I took the liberties of playing him like a lovable himbo that he is, and having him chase Balto around town. But when they arrived at the Dietrich farm, Kat got a tour of the place and was warned not to go out after dark, punctuated by a couple of wolves howling alongside Balto and Freki howling, because that's how you bond when you have a wolfhound. May passed on some of the older clothes that she had on, just to kind of give Kat something to wear that wasn't Vodachan in nature. And while Kat was given a chance to kind of get acclimated to her surroundings, we got to see a special interaction at the well between May and an old woman who warned her that she should leave the house as it was, since it wasn't hers technically, and it had been won in combat, to which May basically refuted that claim and warned her herself that harm would come if they tried anything. And while that was happening, Kat checked out the room, the furniture, found the kind of whittled wolf toy behind one of the pieces of furniture. Freki and Balto were roughhousing outside, and after getting washed up and coming downstairs, we got to see a little bit of what Kat brings to the table, as we saw how her Strega powers operate, as she got a reading of May and got to see that she was governed by the same arcana as by the same basic tarot card of the boatman, the ferryman. It wasn't ominous at all whatsoever. It was the nicest interaction anyone could have with someone that ferries the dead across the river to their final destination. So, you know, I'm gonna stick by that. But we're gonna see our lovely crew in a little bit, because I think we want to catch up with Freki, given that A bunch of supernatural shenanigans are happening, and you have not had a single interaction for yourself, my friend. So let's.
Well, that's about to change.
Yeah, I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
But as Cat is inside, as they're having dinner, as everybody's kind of hunkering down for the night, you and Balto hear noises on the periphery, on the edges of the farmlands, and every time that you go to investigate, the noise shifts somewhere else. Something rustles, twig breaks, leaves are crunched, and it isn't until about the fourth time that you investigate and turn around. And the moment you turn around, you see this old woman, kind of maybe about just south of 5 foot, and she's hunched over, walking stick, long, flowing, earthy toned kind of trappings. One eye squinting more than the other, looks like it's got some kind of little bit of crust on the edge, like almost she's fighting some kind of what's it called, a infection. But you notice that when she reaches up her finger out of her hand, the ring finger is missing from her right hand. She just kind of reaches up and just taps you on the chest. Yo. I like, don't touch me.
No, I'm just checking.
Yeah, no,
checking.
Your skin is still there. Don't worry. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not starting like swinging.
Not that. I'm not starting off like that.
Yeah. But she taps your chest and like gives her a good 2 taps. You are a big strong man. Yes. You are not Ison.
Can I ask, considering what time of night this is already, what is this, I would say it's sundown already, or is it like
it's night? It is like, it is easily around after 10.
Okay. So, I've known, while being here long enough, working long enough, I know that May has told me several times not to be out at night. Or people normally are not out at night.
Correct.
So the first thing I actually do is look at Balto and see his reaction for this person that's here.
Balto's gone.
Oh, Balto dipped.
Balto has been the quietest, quietest ninja wolfhound you've ever seen. Because you were like, oh, he's next to me because he's the one that kind of shoots out towards the sound first, and you're the one that catches up. And the moment you look down to where he was, he's not there. He's gone.
Oh,
and you see him.
I take that as a bad.
You see him sitting on the back porch, just kind of looking at you like.
Yeah, I take that as a bad sign. That's not at all. Just from my experience, and like in my experience, animals tend to have more of an innate, more of an instinct towards stuff like this. So, no, not Ison. May I ask why you are here in the back of this property?
I am friend of family. The man of the house is. We go back a ways.
Okay, it could be the night. I wait. I might have some dirt in my ears because I've been playing a little bit. I think you said man of the house.
He is dead now. Sad, very sad.
So then that means that May owns the house. So are you looking for May?
No, no, this may not own a house. No.
Okay, then you're saying a dead person owns the house. I'm just trying to understand. I mean, I'm just a simple Vestin. However, I'm still not
Oh,
understanding.
and you see her draw a pair of runes in front of you at your feet.
Do
Vestin.
I recognize that?
They're upside down, but they look like descriptors, like big man. But she draws a third one, and it doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before. But it does look like it's a name, like it's one of those name runes. And then you see her stomp her foot on the first one and drag it across all three of them. And as she does, everything on you feels heavy. Your lungs feel constricted, and the coldness of the night starts to really bite at your skin. Maybe it is time to go inside the big man. You go inside, and she puts her hand on your chest. You feel
No, I do not allow that.
okay.
I do not allow.
Okay.
I have Thola on me still, correct? Because I don't let go of my shield.
It's heavy.
I don't give a shit. I will roll what I need to roll. Because, hey, shield. Mom was a shield maiden. If you're gonna size me up, be prepared for consequences.
I get you. And it takes everything. It takes everything you have in you.
Oh,
to pull a shield around.
Roll as much as I need to.
Oh no, don't worry. But it takes everything you have in you to kind of pull the shield down and just bring it crashing down. And you hear this heavy crunch. And the labored breathing that it takes for you to pull the shield up to look at the damage that you've caused, it's like you brought it crashing down on a scarecrow. It's this weird wooden mannequin-like creation that's sitting there lifeless, a husk. But it doesn't look anything like the old woman that you talked to. And you see that Balto has backed up into the doorway of the house now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I start backpedaling. Obviously, I can't moonwalk on grass, so I'm just going to backpedal. Yep. With the shield. Like, do I still feel the heaviness?
Everything, yeah. Everything on you feels heavy. You take like 3 or 4 steps, and it feels like your heart's about to explode. Everything is labored.
May I just say it as I'm backing up, putting the shield towards my chest.
May will hear the call. It feels strained.
She'll come out with a sword in her hand.
Freki doesn't look like you remember him. He looks emaciated, like a stick figure man. His muscles are deteriorated away to nothingness.
Told you not to stay outside in the dark.
By the way, as I'm backing up, are the runes still there on the floor?
No. Remember, she stomped her foot and scratched them out.
Am I able to? It's also hard to talk, correct?
You need to choose whether to walk or talk. It gets to that point where it's just like the actions are so labored that you can only do one or the other.
May will come over to try and get the shield so that she can help him.
Yeah, and you see that she picks it up like a regular piece of armature. There's a heft to it that May's not used to, but it picks up. That's the first, I think, real sign that something's wrong with Freki. To Freki.
Get in. Shut up. Get in.
Yep. I go ahead and I start. You're saying like including the clothes that I'm wearing is also
everything feels so much heavier on you.
Oh, well, I start taking layers of clothing off to make it easier to walk in. Well, that's just...
Yeah.
Julia! Come out! I need you for a second.
Yeah, she'll come out.
Yeah, to Freki, every time that you take off a layer of clothes, like there's this heavy thud that it feels like it's made out of metal. But to May and to Kat, like it just sounds like regular clothing thudding on the floor, just like plop, plop, plop. But to Freki, there's this heavy thud of everything kind of like landing on the floor.
Get Freki in before he gets nude, and take this. Can you handle the shield?
Sure. She'll like take the shield and then just sort of like try to get Freki inside.
Mm-hmm.
May will start picking whatever clothes are left on the ground to get it back in.
I mean,
yeah. And Freki sees that May picks up the clothes with no problem.
Yeah. Strange woman. Strange woman, a friend of your husband?
And old woman that looked kind of decrepit. Is Nine a friend? Get in.
I'm already. If I could throw myself, I would. If I could throw myself, I would.
Yeah, you brought him into the house.
She'll bar the door, close it, kind of put everything away, going, "What happened? What'd she do?"
I start circling. I start doing 3 circle. Like I don't know if I'm on the floor. Like I'll throw myself onto the couch that's there.
Yeah, you collapse.
And I'll literally just stones, ruins. Broke. You said I know the 2 sigils?
Yeah, the first two were big and man.
Yeah. Big, and then I start pointing. Big man crushed. And then at that point I don't think I have the strength to even talk anymore.
Yeah, it takes a bit out of you. Given that May has Vestin family, you are aware that the Vestin form of sorcery revolves around rune work. There is a primary rune and a secondary rune, and by breaking the runes, you invoke its power.
Would she be able to do some kind of research really quick to see if she could find out what to do in reverse?
To reverse a Vestin ability would require Vestin magic.
True. Is there a ice and...
I point, like I lift my arm and I point to my shield.
Yeah.
She'll like hold it up to him.
Yeah, and I tap on the actual ruin that's on the middle of the shield. So,
yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah. She took 2 runes and a third, and then she just wiped them out, yeah? Breaking them. Is there any way she knows a Ison remedy to this?
Sorcery doesn't play well with each other.
I know.
So, to tempt Vestin, especially the way that the Vestin believe in the ancestors and their old gods, would be almost Herculean to undertake, given what little bit you were taught growing up, and especially how you leaned into hexen work. It's dangerous.
She'll just look at Freki. I told you to get in when it was night. Didn't I? Yeah, just nod your head.
Just
You mean this?
Given the connection that Freki has to the shield, destroying the shield might invoke its power, and it might have something to offer Freki.
If I break this, you can make a new one, yeah?
It's his mother's shield.
You can see, yeah, you can see the grimace in.
I don't want to, but if this is going to help you.
I try to actually break the rune myself. If I don't know.
You take a knife and you try to scratch the rune out, and nothing happens. It's just the knife feels so heavy, and you barely start to scratch at the metal dome in the middle of your shield. It's kind of sad to watch, because every scratch just takes so much out of you that the next scratch is softer, and the next scratch becomes softer, and it's just by the fourth scratch you're barely dragging the knife tip across the dome of your shield.
Considering that I have that rune on Thola, I wouldn't know. Would I have any experience or any like knowledge of this rune work as well?
You grew up in Vestin, and given that your mother was a shield maiden, there was ritualistically a few scenarios that you might have seen where runes were invoked, especially the rune being carved at the shield. But you always remember there's two runes. There's a shield rune, and then there was a rune that was branded into the shield maiden's neck. It was a kind of copy of the magic involved in the double rune system. But it always seemed to be more of a gesture, a kind of lip service to the sorcery, as far as the shield maidens turned it into, than actual like sorcery.
I mean, do I feel like I'm slow? Do I feel like I'm draining to the point that I feel like I could actually keel over?
The more you do, the more it drains. So if you just kind of sit there, you can feel like it doesn't drain, like you're at a plateau. But you never start to feel like you're climbing again. It's always a declination or a plateau.
Well, I sit there for a moment just so I can mull it over, and honestly, it like I squint my eyes really hard to the point that I am crying. I just do it. That's all I say. Just do it.
And Balto comes over and brings its head underneath your hand.
She'll
You
take
can hear him whining.
an axe to break it.
It takes a bit. It is great Vestin craftsmanship. This shield is fantastic work. And it takes 4 or 5 good thwacks.
Yeah, she's giving it all she got with both hands, just trying to smash it.
And the dome collapses. The rune is destroyed, and you will both see the wood start to glow slightly. There is this sensation. You can hear horns in the distance. You can smell mead. You hear gregarious singing. And after a moment, the wood starts to dim, and then it pulsates like a heart. And as it starts to turn to ash, the house is gone. And around you, you are in a great mead hall. The roof is 40 feet above you. There are massive iron bound candelabras, like these massive 18, 24, 36 cove kind of chandeliers of just iron and candle work. And you see that you are surrounded by Vestin men. Massive. The shortest one is about 6'6". And there are women who are easily towering, equivalent to them. And one gets up and comes over, and Freki will recognize her as his mother. And she gently sits down next to you on the floor and puts her hand on top of your head. And just very, very calmly, very motherly, very softly, she'll pull you up onto her lap and start to kind of rock back and forth. And you'll hear a traditional Vestin kind of lullaby. And she's crying as she's half singing, half humming. And every tear that lands on Freki starts to puff him up, starts to build him back up. And after 7 or 8 tears, he's back to his original size. And her voice cracks. And 2 armored monstrosities of massive beings come over, and you'll see 6 pairs of wings erupt out of their backs as they put hands on her shoulders and under her armpits. And they say something in Vestin that just kind of gut punches Freki. And they drag her away. The doors to the mead hall burst open, and they pull her out into what looks to be this desolate, frozen tundra. And then the doors close. Everyone kind of sits there for a moment, and then somebody will start to pour the mead again and start a song, and 1 voice becomes 3, 3 become 8. And as the mead hall erupts into song again, it trails into nothing, and you're back in May's house. All that's left of the shield is the husk, rusted remains of the central dome and the outer ring that held everything together.
Freki just sits there with those pieces, and he just starts slowly collecting them. Doesn't say a word. Tears running down his face because he knows what that means. He knows what had to happen in order for me to still be standing. So I just grab my pieces and I walk to the room.
Balto follows.
I look at Balto and Haka.
He sits. Yeah, he sits immediately.
And I walk. I look over at May and Julian and thank you for doing something that I could never do. And I just walk into the room and I close the door.
And there's a long moment of Balto kind of staring at the door before he turns his head around to look at May and Julie, but he's sitting. He was given an order and he is taking it.
What's inside this room?
What would May have given Freki or rooming?
Basic lodgings. It would have been a bed, but she knows that he doesn't sleep in a bed, so it would have been a pile of fresh hay. The usual things like a dresser, mirror, washing basin. That stuff is there in the room, but it's all kind of pushed to the outer walls so that it's just a nice clump of hay, something in some blankets so that he's comfortable. But that was it, because it was the only way she could get him inside the house.
Well, the mirror's destroyed. Just letting you know that right now.
That was a given.
No, that's the first thing. And with that, it's not just destroyed. It's literally the hinges broken off, folded over, and it is just relentless. Like, it's nothing but just bare hands breaking. And not a word. Just, I'm to the point that I do it until I'm tired.
Yep.
And then I just fall where I'm at.
Okay. Noise, chaos, primal rage is all that comes from the room. Balto, for his part, winces every time that he hears a noise, but he is steadfast. Sits there.
What happened?
You want the long or the short?
Short's fine.
A woman Kirsten. Apparently, strength is in the shield. We destroyed the shield. Apparently saw his mother. And then I don't speak Western very well. Something happened that she got cast out of the hall, and now he's pissed off.
Okay.
Am I able to hear any of this?
No.
Oh, she's talking quiet as fuck, my dude.
You are raging.
We are not pissing off the Viking.
Yeah, no. You are making enough noise not to hear anything that's going on outside.
Yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, no.
I will build up the house. We'll stay in the one room together. I have a feeling this woman, they're going for a fight. And it's best if the three of us, the dog, you and me, stay together, close enough to Freki, so something happens, he can just unleash hell and whatever it is. I will have to get some supplies together.
I'll help you get some stuff to board up things.
Yeah, actually, getting the herbs from my stockroom is just an occasion. She'll have Balto follow her, so Balto feels like he's still part of the pack.
Yeah.
It's just Big Brother can't play right now.
Yeah. And after maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of just constant noise and screaming and just stomping around and breaking, like, there's finally just this thump. And then it goes quiet. in the room.
I wish I knew why they came here. I wish I knew what was so important in this house that they wish to destroy people. I don't know. Right. You okay?
Okay, yeah.
Do you want some tea?
Um,
It might be a long night.
No, I think I'm all right for right now.
Okay. Let's take all of this up. Do you prefer your room better or mine?
Whatever you think is best.
Right,
I
that
have no
poker up
preference.
somebody's ass, but she's not there right now to do, so you know. Sorry, I get a bit angry and I try to keep myself still so that I don't rage.
It's understandable.
Okay. I think all of this we take up into my room. I have most of this prepared already, but you know, you never know when unknown things want to knock on the door. May will make sure the entire house on the inside is secure. Bolts locked, windows checked, everything. First floor is sealed up like a good fortress, and then she'll look at Balto and say, "Come in," and she'll lead both Julie and the dog upstairs to her room, which is right next door to Freke's room.
Okay. The
And-
night goes uneventful.
Oh, good.
Yeah. There is a bit of nodding off and kind of like coming to and snapping awake. The constant fear of this old woman coming back does not make the night easy, but it does go by uneventful. And when the sunlight starts to creep in and the night is washed away, you will see that the room is how you left it. You wake up after having finally gone to sleep. There's nothing strange in the room. Cat is still there. Balto is still there. There's still kind of slow rumbling of snoring from Freki's room.
Wait, well, does it become daybreak now? Like the sun is actually up?
It's coming up. Coming up.
Yep. I usually wake up at first light, so
Yeah.
I don't know if at this moment, but usually I wake up at first light.
The sun hits you, and I think that there's, for the first time, I think there's a piece of you that just turns around and stays there. But if you want to get up, you will hear that there is stirring coming from the other room.
Uh,
You can hear the clack, clack, clack of Balto coming out.
I open the door.
He stops. Mid step, he stops and looks at you.
I crouch down a little bit, put my hand out, and I say, "Balto, come here."
He comes over.
I pet his head. You are smarter than I am. I will say that.
He just
But
thumps the top of his head against your chest.
and I look up to see where I imagine the ladies are still in the room. So,
May's in the door because she has to let the dog out.
oh yeah, she let the dog. I look over, see you guys. Good morning.
Guten Morgen, Biggets. How are you? Are you better?
No,
I mean,
but
I didn't mean to yell
um,
at you. I'm sorry.
um, I'm. Let's just say my body's in one piece again. And it's very much appreciated, but
Can I ask what
uh,
happened just with the hall and everything? Or is this too personal? I understand if you don't want to talk about it, but I thought I would ask.
uh, maybe over coffee.
It's a good thing I bought some. Is there a way we can put together a new shield for you? Might not be your
I,
mother's,
I,
but it could be something
I.
yours.
Oh, it has crossed my mind. I will say first, though, we need to talk more about this woman from last night.
Yeah.
And I start walking towards the kitchen.
Julie, you awake?
Julie will kind of like stumble up, um, and just sort of like nod a little, like sleepily after not sleeping so great.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
Seems he's awake and wants to talk over the coffee. Would you like coffee?
Sure. I don't want to intrude. Do you want me to give you some space to talk privately?
You're part of this. You might as well learn what's going on as well as I do.
Okay.
Okay? If you want to wash up, go ahead. I will start making breakfast.
All right.
As you guys come downstairs, Freki is the first to notice the smell. As you walk into the kitchen, there's this putrid, decayed scent wafting in through the door. Looking out over the window where the preparation station is, you'll see that the whole of the backyard is littered with animal carcasses,
Great.
mutilated.
All different kinds of animals.
Rabbits, deer. Um, there's a moose. There's a bear. But it's mostly small animals, foxes, badgers, beavers.
Based on nature, like based on my experience, can I tell? I imagine this is animals, more than one that did this.
Yeah.
I just want to know if I could tell.
The stepping outside, the scent hits you like Evander Holyfield, right in the nose. And you'll notice that all the animals have a primal face of fear frozen on their skulls, and their chest and stomach seems to have burst outward, and none of their entrails are in the carcasses.
Would I know an animal that would
Does
have
it?
done this?
No animal has done this. All of the meat and musculature and kind of sustenance, like the nutrients, are all still there as far as the animal's concerned.
Would I know if this is Eisen or Vestin magic?
Neither. This is primal. This is older than the nations.
This is a warning and a sign. They're trying to fear us.
Stepping out, you also notice that it's not just a backyard. It is spread out from the house at the epicenter of this 500-foot circle of just carcasses.
She'll go to the she'll run to the graveyard to check to see if they've done anything there.
It's safe.
Mm.
There's a strange delineation where the graves are, that there is no desecration around them. Sick kind of respect for the dead.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and as I see all this, like literally just compartmentalizing everything at the moment, and just I start grabbing wood to build a fire, and I'll start grabbing a wheelbarrow and start heaping these bodies, these carcasses, so that we can start cleaning this up.
Yep. And there's no
At
blood.
this point,
There's no blood anywhere around the bodies of the animals that you find, that you pick up. They look like they were exsanguinated and just left here. But they all have the same smell of rotting for a few hours.
You guys didn't hear any of this?
No.
No.
I don't know how long it would take me to clean this up, but at least taking the carcasses off this area.
Yeah. Some are easier to cart off than others to create a little bundle. And I would imagine that Freki is smart enough to like not try to move the big carcasses, like the bear or the moose, and kind of bring the smaller carcasses to them to create your little bonfire mounds. So there's about 7 large animals and 7 large mounds that end up kind of littering around the house where you bring the carcasses to.
And there's no trail, there's nothing that I would see, because it's no footsteps, nothing.
Nothing. It looks like every carcass was placed there.
Was it placed in a pattern, other than the fact that it was in a circle?
No.
No.
You know that it didn't go further out. Like, that circle was tight. It was geometric. But once you light the last fire, you'll hear the bell go off like a couple times at the front gate.
Oh, I'll go. I'll go find out. Julie, just help Freki. I'll get breakfast started shortly. I'm sorry.
No, Freki goes straight to the front, goes around the house to go in the front to see who this is.
Yeah. And you see this
point, I don't want any more surprises.
You see this kind of puffed out gentleman of fancy reds, yellows, Castilian colors. This half cape that comes down the right side of his body, and he's got this beautiful rapier on his belt, and this little kind of hand musket on his thigh, and he holds out his hand, big smile on his face. Señorita May, such
Hello.
a pleasure to see you again, my friend.
I am so surprised that you have come to Eisen. I thought you would like to stay in Castile.
I would, but I must go where my lady bids, and I am bid here in Eisen.
Your lady wishes you here.
She has come home. Yes. It is it's unfortunate. We arrived this morning. Her husband has taken ill. We are here for support. And he looks down at the gate. May I come in?
She actually goes to the gate and opens it slowly, watching his every movement.
Oh, he is every bit the peacock that you remember from Castile.
Of course, once a peacock, always a peacock.
And he comes in with a flourish, bows to you. Where is Señor Aranda? I wish to see a familiar face and to hear a familiar cadence.
Departed from our group.
Oh, this is very sad.
It is. He was whisked away by a beauty.
Unfortunately, that is the weakness of my countrymen.
So I've
Beautiful
been
face.
told. Beautiful face, beautiful thoughts and words, yeah. He was whisked away and we came back here to try to put things back together again.
Do you require assistance, Señorita May? I am at your disposal. I remembered hearing about this place from our little chats. I hope you don't mind that I come and visit.
No. You do know that you shouldn't travel in the night, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We came by boat, so we were a little safer than the roads. And
Yes.
my mistress has money, so we're guarded, my friend. Don't worry.
I only wish to give ice and hospitality as you have given me Castile hospitality.
It is appreciated.
It is it has been a morning, so we are trying to put ourselves together. You know.
He pulls out a handkerchief and kind of puts it up to his face to cover his nose. There is a smell. I wasn't going to say anything, Señorita May, pero there is.
There is a smell. Yeah, we were working on that when you came by. A little accident with some of the local animals, you know. Sometimes, mass apocalypse happens. Sometimes they just do mass things in the back of your yard.
I am sure that whatever you said is enlightening, but I did not understand a single word you said.
Very easily, as eyes and strange things happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He sees Freki and he's like, that is a big man. Hello, my friend. It's nice to meet you. He kind of nods.
Junie's having a moment that I cannot remember this name, but I haven't seen this man in like months.
Yeah.
So could you gently and almost very softly remind me of this man's name?
This man's name?
Please.
How soft do you want it? Do you want it like down here kind of soft? Like, do you want it like here?
Soft and slow so that I can write down the name into correct pronunciation would be great, because I know that they have very long names.
This one is not that long. This one is just simply Ignacio Guadalupe del Mar.
Okay.
You want it softer? You want it slower? You want it down here? Like a little.
I'm trying to write. My God. Okay, got Ignacio Guadalupe
del Mar.
Day or Del?
Del.
Del?
Del. Yeah, like a farmer in the Del.
Mar.
Mar.
Got you. Okay. She'll just go, Freki. This is Ignacio Guadalupe del Mar. He was the man we met in the first city we were at in Castile.
I go like, just roll up my sleeve.
Yeah,
that's full of blood from not blood. It's just full of hair.
Yeah.
Matted hair and just
detritus.
The smell. And I go and I just grab his hand. I go, Freki.
And you see that he winces. He did not expect you to grab his hand, and he did not want you to grab his hand. And he immediately just kind of like fakes his smile and then pulls his hand away and just starts to immediately wipe it with the handkerchief.
Senor, you're going to have to forgive him. My friend is from Weston, where they are very physical.
It is understood. I will keep my distance from now on. It is nice to meet you, Freki.
My friend over here is named Julia.
Mm.
She is señorita.
Señorita Julia. Pleasure. And you see him about to put his handkerchief away. He sees how dirty it is, and he just drops it. I have come because La Señorita Caridad de la Playa de Restin, of course, still wants to catch up, Señorita May. We never had our tea in San Agustin. It is overdue.
It is true. We did a lot of things happened in San Augustine.
A lot of things happen in San Agustin.
Still do. I'm assured. Even if my presence is not there. Well, she just arrived, I should give her at least a couple of days to unpack and get back into his emotions. Would you say next week be good if I stop by for tea?
That is delightful. Thank you.
Okay, of course. My pleasure. Since you are now in Eisen, I will do what I can to help you with Eisen.
It was told to me that the bookseller has a good selection of tea. Is this true? I was planning to go visit. What is his name? And he pulls out a little notebook. Bertold. Que nombre.
Yeah. He's good. He's the best tea supplier in this whole place.
Oh.
I've known him since I was a child, yeah.
Very nice.
He's excellent. You tell him what you're looking for, he will provide.
Good.
Yeah. Oh. I would not recommend somebody if I didn't trust them completely. I trust them completely with my tea.
Excellent. Yes. There is an officer, Senor Otto, that told me that I can go to him and I can ask him about teas in particular. So
this is fair. He has a reputation beyond reproach around these parts.
Good. A man of honor is always a pleasure to be around.
Yeah, then also he's good with the books too. If you have a book or something, he can definitely help you with it as much as he can.
Oh, and he leans down. He's like, Señorita May, I am not a reader of books. I am a man of action.
Señor Damar, if you don't read the books, how do you know how to act?
By example.
Yes, but there's some things in books that you learn that may cross borders and teach a bit more of a different custom, yeah?
The only book I need to read, Señorita May, is the Vatican Bible. He crosses himself.
Very well. Well, if your lady would ever wish to have a book or two that she wishes to read.
She is a reader, yes. I will make sure that this Bertold, that he is made aware.
Herr Bulto. Herr.
He has hair? I would hope so.
Herr. It means sir or Mr. It's kind of like your senor. Herr.
Hair.
Yeah.
It would seem to be rather rude if somebody does not have hair to call him hair.
No. It's language. I'm teaching you a little Eisen.
Oh.
So instead of, I believe it is Buenos Aires, you say Guten Morgen, Herr, and then his name. So you're saying good morning, Mr. and his name, and you're greeting him in Eisen.
I will be honest with you, Señorita May. I don't think I will remember this, but I will try for you.
You can, thank you. You can write it down, and you know what? It will show you just a little bit more of a appeal with the locals.
Excellent. I take my leave of you then. It is nice to meet all of you. I look forward to seeing you again.
Pleasure to see you again.
He doesn't even wait. He just leaves.
Oh yeah, she doesn't even. She just closes the gate as soon as he's out of it.
Yeah.
All right. Hi.
Coffee's done.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have it the Eisen way. I think I have a little whiskey in the house. Come. I'll get you some food really quickly. I'm sorry. And she'll just rush into the house and start cooking. Because that's what we do while there's a whole backyard of dead carcasses.
Yeah. No.
Slowly burning. It's fine.
But yeah, the rest of the morning goes by uneventfully. What do you do once you've eaten and kind of had the morning constitutional out of the way? The carcasses have gone to ash at this point.
I mean, out of the carcasses there, I fashion one of the bigger ones, one of the bigger carcasses.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure I take a bone, clean it off, and just hand it over to Balto so he can have something to play with.
Okay.
Yeah.
He breaks it within the hour.
Yeah, that's fine. He just needs to. Everybody needs their distractions at this time, is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to talk about this woman or no?
Do you know? May, you're very knowledgeable, including Vestan culture.
Yeah.
I take that, right?
A bit, yeah. My mother was Vestan. Her sister was Vestan. I'm half Vestan, but I don't know much about the... I know some of the culture. I don't know all of the culture. There are differences, yeah?
Just to refresh my memory, storyteller, this is Valhalla is the word that they use, or do they deem it as the Great Hall?
Yeah. Some of the Vestan will use Valhalla amongst themselves. Some will refer to it as the Allfather's Great Hall.
So you know of anybody that's been around Vestan has heard of our Great Hall at the end of this life, and I will say that is in the heart of hearts where we wish to all end up, to forever be around our brethren and tell stories of adventure, of battles, and just be around one another until the end of time with the Allfather. That is everyone's dream. Down from a merchant over to Shield Maiden. That was my mom's ultimate dream. And what you saw last night was her sacrificing that in order for me to still be standing here. Sorry?
Because we broke your shield?
The ruin left on Thola. I wince a little bit by saying that name, knowing that that was my mother's, and it was akin to her. Given to me on her passing. I knew it had magic, I just didn't know what it could do, and I took that risk, and I told myself that I would never break it myself, and I didn't, technically.
You couldn't.
So, needless to say, my mom, my mother, my first love, my mentor, my person that I looked up to my whole life. On her last act of heroism, sacrificed our dream, her dream, so that I could still be here. So I say this to tell you that whoever this person was, they will not, as long as I am still breathing, I will make sure that they have their last breath in front of me.
What she does is Vestan magic. Something I couldn't do. So that is a Western witch. And I can't tell you why she thinks this house is hers. I don't know.
What do you know? Could you tell me anything? Because you've met her before I met her, obviously.
She'll sit down, finish her coffee, and then put a whole thing of whiskey into the cup and slowly drink it. All I remember from the night was we put the kids to bed. We were going to bed. My father and mother, who lived here. This is mine family's land, not mine husband's. This is a Dietrich land. This is my father, mother in the backyard. All I remember is a howl and screams. I started to come out. Whatever was outside, my husband pushed me to get me out of the way. I woke up. I tried to go down. I got thrown. I got beaten up to the point that I passed out. I saw black. I woke up about a month later in my aunt's house in Weston. I was broken and beaten to the point. It took me months, I think about 6 months or so, to just heal, to be able to walk again. I don't know why they're doing any of this. No idea. The last night while we had the water, she came to me and told me I needed to leave. I survived. And if anyone knows, if you're claiming this in battle, if a survivor is still here, still alive, you have not won. That land is still theirs, which this is my land. By right of birth, by right of succession. I don't know why. I don't understand. That's why I'm never here long, is usually I'm sent on different missions to pay for the land to keep the upkeep. So when I went down to St. Augustine, I thought it was going to be a very quick job, get it done, and then come back up with some money to pay for things and get things done. When we were gone for over a month and seeing this place destitute, I know that woman did something to the people. I don't know what. I don't know why. I have no idea. I do know that my husband held a small little place in our bedroom that he hid all of his papers. I'm sure they don't know where it is. So I'm going to go up this afternoon, find it, take all the papers out and start reading to find out what the hell is going on, because I don't know. And I have to make sure both of you are protected, because you're underneath my care, my watch, and my house. And that would be horrible to put Julie into the situation as well as you. And I'm sorry that your mother's shield is broken. If we can make another shield and put your mother's sigil back on it, maybe she'd be brought in. I don't know. This is such, I don't know, territory that it angers me to the point I want to unleash the monster within myself. But I know I can't. Because I would be putting you two in danger, and that is not what I want. I want to find this. I want to end this. But I don't know how, and I don't know why.
As she's getting towards the end of saying all that, I actually hold her by both of her shoulders, right? Grab, just so that, because I can only imagine that you're just getting louder and louder, which I understand.
Not louder, she's just emphasizing words a little stronger, but not shouting. Yeah. But her body's shaking because she's that pissed off.
Until you have my strength, until it is no more to give. I say to you with my honor that whatever is going on in this house has not only affected you, has affected me and my life. as much as I appreciate, unfortunately, this shield, and I look over at the pieces that I still have, because now I keep them. I literally have them listed here, like inside the jacket. I go, these pieces can no longer mend itself. This rune is no longer available to be placed back together. And I don't want it to. But I will say that that doesn't mean that a new shield can't be made. And that doesn't mean, as dire as this sounds, that we can't find out what's going on. So
I hope so.
And I look over at Julie, I go, you picked quite a time to be a part of this group.
I did, but I won't be bored. Seems pretty exciting in a very dangerous kind of way.
I mean, I won't lie. This does get me a little excited knowing that this is something that could kill me.
At that, Cat will hear a creaking noise. And it's only Cat that hears it. Like something is swaying. Something heavy is swaying from a rope, and following it out from the kitchen into the living room. You will see there is this older looking version of Freki just hanging from a noose. And the creaking is him back and forth. Turning around to see if Freki's still there, he is, and coming back around, the hanged man is gone.
Okay.
Do we notice her moving?
I think she would kind of like, you'd see like her eyes track to wherever the visage of the hanged man is, and then kind of back to Freki, and then back again. I think they'd catch that.
Okay.
You okay?
Oh, yes, just seeing more things.
Like what you saw that yesterday?
She'll nod.
What was it this time?
She'll kind of like sigh a little bit. She's just like, seemed to be a hanged man.
Are you okay with this? Go ahead.
No, do you see this quite often?
It's happening more often.
So you see a hanged man? Is this the first time you see
Well,
this?
I don't always see a hanged man. I tend to see other things around people.
That'll be creepy as fuck.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I was just curious. I'm just still trying to figure, like, I'm still trying to figure, like, this is all new to me. So, I mean, I know that May has had some experience with seeing what's not there as well. So I take it that's something that you two have in common.
I see the magic in the air. She sees something different. She saw the ferryman for me, following me.
Hmm.
And I'm cursed with death. Hey, there you are. This house will either kill me or I'll die here protecting it. I don't know anymore.
But it's
Oh.
not really super important right at the moment. There's, I think, other things more pressing.
Well, it's something something to know at least. The more we know about each other and the more that we know about what we can do, the less people can use as a ploy against us to say and try to tear us apart. True?
Agreed. I take it you will be researching those papers in the house, and I fancy myself to go out of town, to go in this town to see, um, you know, I mean, granted, Will, I imagine we've been here long enough that we've known the people in this town or have run into the people in this town.
Yeah. There's very few, as far as like the necessities are concerned, like Berthold's, the market, the messenger system service, like the necessities you've been to, you are familiar with them. It's just the actual like people that live in the town, the kind of farmers outside of town, like those are the only people that you don't really recognize because you see them so rarely. But there's a handful of people that will recognize you in the streets.
And as far as their demeanor, during the time that we were there, has their demeanor changed at all, or they've always been the same since we?
Been the same. Them towards you have not changed. But I think that given what happened to Berthold last time, I think May would start to piece together that the people that you interact with are being treated very differently by the militia.
Okay.
And that's not like you as a person, but you as a group. You as the two of you. Because Kat is new to the shindig.
Has the militia ever, like, I know that in the last session we had, I wasn't there because I was with Bolto out in the back, but
you were running around.
There was an interaction with militia at that point. Did we ever have any kind of interaction with militia?
No.
During
no, you guys have been model citizens. I think given that you have a wits of 3, and a notice of 2, I think that you would have seen kind of out of the corner of your eye the situation when Berthold fell onto his table outside. I don't think you would have seen the act, but I know that you would have seen you would have read the scene as like he could have fallen or he could have been pushed or punched.
Okay.
But given the way that the officer didn't rush to help him up, it definitely left a bad taste in your mouth.
I think I want to go out in the town.
Sure.
Do you want to take Julie with you? Or Julie, do you want to stay here?
I'll go.
You look like a Eisen, so just remember Julie is your name.
Julie and Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, yeah. I'll research up in the bedroom and see if I can find anything he's left. And translate it and let you know.
Okay.
I'll let you know what the militia says, and I walk out.
All right.
Julie will follow.
Nice. May goes upstairs. Where are you? Do you want to take Balto or you want to leave Balto with May?
You know what? What does Balto do exactly?
He follows you for a little bit, but then he kind of looks at May, and then he looks back at you, and he kind of waits to see what the order is.
Okay. I look down. I don't crouch. I just look down. Balto, protect me.
He nods.
So I
Steps
look
over.
over. I look over at May. Yeah, and when you're ready, Julie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you leave the estate. Where are you going in town in particular? Anywhere? Or are you just meandering?
I'm going straight to the. I'm going to wherever the. Well, I will.
The magistrate building? Hot damn.
Well, no. Yeah. Well, no, not the. Well, what I'm looking for is trying to find the
Trouble?
gentleman that came to our house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to find Ignacio?
No. The
Oh.
gentleman that came that was there when Alberto fell.
Oh, at the bookstore. Okay.
Yeah, quote unquote fell when.
Yeah. Excuse me. Not a problem. You go over and you will see that they're in the middle of afternoon drills. And you will see that the older gentleman kind of ordering a small group around is the same gentleman that was there at Berthold's. And one of the other kind of younger officers, the cadets, kind of comes over as he sees the two of you, and he steps up and just kind of straightens his shirt out. Guten Tag, how can I be of service? Do you
Good
need
afternoon.
assistance?
Yes. I don't know if you. I don't think we have met. I'm Freki. My cousin. That's my cousin, Julie.
Adolf?
From here. I wanted to. I just happened to be. Do you happen to be over at Berthold's yesterday while we were there? I believe you paid him a visit.
Nine, I did not.
Oh, I'm talking to the gentleman that was actually. He's not there at all. The person that I would recognize.
Oh no, the older officer is there. He's ordering people around, but the young officer shot forward and came up to intercept you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, where are my manners? That again, Freki. And who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Yeah. I am Adolf, as I have said.
Yeah, Adolf. And the gentleman that's right now running drills, the older gentleman,
Is that this Officer Frost?
Officer Frost.
Frost? Yeah.
If you can do me a favor,
Mm-hmm.
later this afternoon I'm going to be at Berthold's. If you can advise the officer that Freki would love to speak with him, considering the interaction that he had yesterday at Berthold's. I do appreciate it, and I just, without even getting a response, I'm just turning around and walking.
Okay. Cat will see him open his mouth to say something, and then very well.
Cat will kind of like just Guten Tag and then wave and start walking behind Freki.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, he holds up his hand sheepishly. That was Fiat. And just goes over to the officer. Where is Freki heading now?
To Berthold's generally has, like, that's the shop where you would get, is that a shop where you would get certain things, like, for instance, because it's not only, because I have wood at the at the house. I do, but it's more of I'm looking for like steel, like what do you call it? Steel plats.
No.
Nails,
You would have to go
like,
to the millers for that, or the blacksmiths.
Yeah. So I would head over to the blacksmith then.
Okay. And you see this one of the few places that you haven't really been to. It's a big place. It's almost like a dining hall, how big it is. There is this massive furnace in the back that has this clamshell of this orange red glowing foundry that you can see different rods kind of sticking out of. And there is this thick, squat Ison man, no hair on his head. The eyebrows are thin. The little wisps of hair that have not burnt off from the time in the forge are few and far between. But he has this thick fucking clamshell, this massive forest of black hair with like these darkened streaks of soot gray. And he stands up as he hears a little bell at the door ring, and he looks up. Ah, hello, yeah, hello, come in, please.
I take a big whiff. Like as I walk in, I smell the actual furnace. I go,
Yep, it smells hot as fuck.
no, this feels like this is probably the closest I get to home in Ison.
Mhm.
And then I pat Julie in the back, and I go, doesn't that smell great?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't
hello,
think, I don't think
hi.
this is a smell that cat has ever taken in. It is earthy. And
She's just gonna nod and smile.
Yeah, the closer you get to him, the more he smells. The more the area around him smells of just sweat. But he takes off his big gloves. You can see that he's working on some kind of spear. Puts him down. Puts the hammer down. There's a little bit of a pinky that catches fire, and he just grabs the hammer and just slams it down, and then slides his gloves away a little bit. Forgive. Sorry, it is old habit. I don't care too much for my gloves, but you know. And he holds out his hand to you before he shakes your hand, and you can see that it's calloused over. The thing looks like it's more reptile than man, from how much work he's handled with just his bare hands. Hello. Welcome. I am Jans. How can I be of service?
Jan's Freki, and I go put out his hand. I grab his hand to shake it.
Yeah.
I go,
Shakes it vigorously.
yeah. Based off of your hands alone, I can trust that you are an expert blacksmith.
Yeah, I tried to be. If it wasn't for my wife, I would not have any fun. And he kind of shakes his shoulders at the little giggle that he gives himself, but he doesn't laugh loudly. He just laughs to himself.
I believe this is the best place to find it. I'm looking for materials that I need to create a shield. At least.
Oh yeah. This is a good place to start. Yeah. How big a shield do you want? Tower shield? You are a big boy. That's going to take a lot of metal.
You know, I'm looking for, and I start explaining. I start giving detail. Pretty much something that is as broad as my shoulders. However, circular, like oval in shape, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Something that is both metal and wood that can actually be flexible enough to throw. And I start.
You want to throw?
And I start. Yeah, no, and I start going, like, at this point, this is probably the most articulate.
Yeah,
that
and like he's listening, and he goes over, he picks up like one of his metallic kite shields, and he holds it for a second, and then you see him like put all of his weight into throwing it, and it flies like 4 or 5 feet. No, I don't see you wanting to throw this. This is a terrible decision to make.
No, not to worry. This is something that I'm going to build myself. So, and I start going into the listing. If you have linden wood, if you have,
I don't.
like I start going into at least metal,
Yeah.
metal like metal nails, not like the actual.
Mhm.
Oh my god, what are those things called now? I can't remember.
Rivets?
Rivets. Thank you.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have any made, not to your specifications, but I can make them. But when do you need these?
How soon can you have it?
Well, I have 4 other projects that I am currently juggling. So I could have them by the end of the month.
How much wealth do we have?
You have
I don't think I even have
one left.
We have one left. By the end of the month, I can wait for that.
Excellent. Yeah, Freki, I will take your recommendations, and he slides you a chalkboard and some chalk, and he just like puts down how many you want of each, what the specifications are, and a kind of rough drawing of their profile and their head-on view, and I will get as many of them as perfectly made for you as possible.
And I start very crudish drawings, but I start writing out, giving little examples, 13, like inch coordinates, stuff like that, sizing. Also, like, and I start going 20 degree. So I start going with the actual band strips of metal to be in a certain degree shape. It's just the metal and rivets that I really need, because everything else I'll just build off of wood for now.
Okay.
It's also with getting also cone shaped pieces with a jagged with an edge to it, with a pointed tip to it. Several of those. Pretty much, I'm trying to use the basis of Thola and trying to use that as a basis.
And he has a different chalkboard that he brings out, and he kind of starts drawing as you're describing it, and he wipes it a few times and starts over, and by the end of it, he has a similar design to what your shield is, and he looks at it and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is. I mean, no offense, Freki, but this is subpar design. It could be improved so significantly. You sure you want this sort of wood?"
Like I hear the subpar, like I hear that, I'm just like, I'm not asking you to make it. I'm asking for these pieces.
Sure, yeah. If I were to want to improve on the design, and you see him start to draw little like cross hatches, I would also include these. These might add a little more weight to the shield, but it would make it steadier. Yeah.
Do I like? And I just do a slight nod to it. I'm like, sure.
Yeah. And that way, if you put little studs here, and you see him draw like little cones, you could put the little studs along these supports made out of silver in case you fight anything supernatural. It gives them a bad day. Yeah.
I stop him. Supernatural.
Yeah.
Can please? I would like to know more about what you mean.
And you see him go over to one of the rods in the furnace, and he pulls it out, and you see it's been there the whole time that you've been talking to him, and the metal that was bathed in the furnace itself is just starting to glow. The other two that he pulls out are white hot. But he goes back and he dips them back in, and he pulls the middle one out again, and he's just like, "This is a metal that I don't think that you're familiar with, Freki." And he slams it against the anvil, and it makes this ringing sound. It almost sounds like music, like church bells. Because this is draconison. It's a very special metal. Only we few blacksmiths in Eisen are taught how to take this metal and create something worthwhile from it.
Okay.
This is what I would use against anything supernatural, but this is not mine. Unfortunately, this is for and he looks over at a clipboard that he has. He goes, this is for Lord Dresden. He has requisitioned a spear.
This draconison.
Yeah.
Is this something that you have available now?
I have this piece that was given to me by the Lord. Otherwise, it is very heavily guarded by the Eisen government. It is used only as needed. Unfortunately, it is not abundant.
Well, I guess for now, any modifications you think, albeit with this draconison.
Yeah.
That any other recommendation?
But he lets you hold the spear that he's working on, and you can feel the heft. It's a solid piece of metal. And then he hands you the draconison rod that he has, which is about the same size, maybe a foot shorter. Fifth of the weight. Yeah, you see? This is why it is so sought after.
And you're saying supernatural, like I'm having a hard time conceptual, getting that concept.
I forget that you are not from here, Freki. Anyone born in Eisen is used to the creatures in the Black Forest, the werewolves, the witches. We are told very early on not to go into the dark.
I've heard this crazy story. You bring up witches. I heard this crazy story. Maybe you can tell me that people have found carcasses of animals with their blood removed completely.
That is old curse. I have not heard of anyone falling to that in the last few years. Maybe the last time was before the war. There was a man. Forget his name. But if you want to learn more, I would go over to the Dietrich farm. I believe that he married the eldest in Adelaide.
Dietrich farm. Much appreciated.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
I'll be able to. I'll see you at the end of the month. How long is the end of till the end of the month?
Oh no, he said it's gonna probably like the first week. So you've got 3 more weeks.
Okay.
Yep.
Until then.
If there's nothing else, it was a pleasure to meet you. Guten Tag.
Yes, Guten Tag. Yes, pleasure.
And he goes back to hammering away.
Yep.
No gloves.
Julie, I know you overheard that, so I take it. I know you're not from here, but I think that I think May know. may know more about this forest, considering this is probably what caused whatever happened yesterday or last night.
Maybe. I mean, if it was at the last time that happened was at her residence, then maybe there's something in those papers about it.
Yeah, I think maybe we should head back.
While you were having a day out on the town, May, we find her at the doorway to her bedroom, staring at the false floorboards. How long does it take her to actually get over there? I knew you would mute yourself. That's fantastic.
Hail, Ben.
Don't invoke him. He might show up.
She won't hesitate. She'll just go right in.
Okay.
There's a couple false floorboards, but there's one particular that's actually on the side of the fireplace that was never used. And she will go into that specific place because that's where the papers were. It was in a box, a metal box to protect them.
Yep.
She will open up the thing to see if the box is still there.
You pull off the floorboards and you will see that there is the familiar metal box that you saw your husband pull in and out very rarely. But you will also notice that there's another box underneath it. One that you never saw him touch. You didn't even know it existed.
Well, going through that one first.
You open it up, there's a pistol. And there's 3 bullets. It looks like the box was made to hold 8. There's 5 little indentions of where the other bullets would have gone, but there's 3 left. And they have a sheen to them that's not metallic.
Going into the other box now. A little bit more scared and shaking a little.
This one does have paperwork, like you remember it. You can see different folders. All of them have the same black kind of, not the Vaticine cross, but a similar cross. Whereas instead of the 3 kind of lines of the cross that the Vaticine stands for, you will see that it has the one regular kind of T shape and then an X on top of it.
Okay.
And inside, you will see different paperwork that look like journal entries. Methodical, scientific. These are classifications and records of different creatures, different names. There's references to different names that you don't recognize, and towards the bottom you will find this almost papyrus-like paper that's been folded up, and it crunches as you unfold it, and you can see that whatever was drawn on it flakes off with every crunch. And you start to you see that you lose about 60% of the drawing, but one of the faces you recognize in the center is your husband's, and one of the faces that you recognize towards the outside, although it is very young compared to how you knew him, is that of Malcolm Rutherford. And this 2 in the corner has that cross with the X.
He'll start going through, see if he actually has a diary that he wrote, like, visited so-and-so, or has anything that lists this creature that attacked us, or the woman, or something that tells her about this shit.
There is nothing like that. Everything, like I said, is clinical. It's scientific. It's very weird because he wasn't that kind of man. The folder that does stand out to you, though, is the one that has the drawing of the gun. And it has rudimentary drawings of an attempt that was made to take it apart, and there is a note that is not in his writing. It says, "Do not take apart." And then underneath that, another addendum. Taking this apart would destroy the Cerna artifact inside. And then there's a fourth handwriting that just says, "Used it on the Wolfman. Stunning results." And then it says, "Anastasia has dubbed it the witch's finger." I think that's a good point to call it for tonight. Yep, that's a good point. That's a great point to call it for tonight. So thank you guys for this episode. I hope you guys are having a good time. I know it hit hard. It hit hard, this one, huh?
Yeah, you brought a tear. You brought tears in my eyes, you bastard.
You cried? You cried?
You bastard.
So as always, I want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're into. So we'll start with you, Kat. What are you up to? Where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found?
Yeah, if you want to find me, I'm at Cymerk across all social medias. You can also catch me Friday nights on here on Twitch on Roll Call Studios, playing Dungeons and Dragons 5e Homebrew, and then on Sundays, where I storytell for DC by Night. You can also catch me on Junie's show, but I'll let her talk about that.
Okay. May, where can people find you, and what are you up to on the internet if you want to be found?
I am on the internet. That's where I live. It's easier that way. Saturday, actually, we are doing Chicago by Night, and we have 6 more episodes until our finale. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday, we're doing our start of DC by Night 2nd season. Yay!
Ooh.
Then next Wednesday, we'll both be on McStabbers for some Dark Ages.
Yep.
And on my own channel, I am actually going to be bringing some drawing back to some lovable troll, Uncle Oski.
Never been so bullied in my life.
Yeah, I know, right? You're so bullied. It's a lovable rendition of Will's character on Changeling, and then I'm actually starting another drawing for another character on Old Gods of Appalachia on McStabbers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right. And Freki, where can you be found if you want to be found on the internet, and what are you up to?
Sure.
Aside from crying.
Aside from crying.
Yeah.
You bastard. You can find me, like, my personal social media. You can find me Mr. _ with the underscore in between each word. You can also find me on TikTok under Crit or Die and Bears Love Gaming. Right now, funny enough, I am knee deep in Baldur's Gate 3 at this moment. Like, I got it late over everybody else.
Yeah.
I will say that I'll let Asterion bite me as many times as he wants. That's I'll just say it like that.
You one of those guys?
Well, that and Karlak is
Karlak.
muscle mommy. We'll just
Karlak
put
is
that,
muscle mommy for sure.
yeah, put that out there.
Yeah.
I will gladly get infinity bottles of fire resistance if that's what it takes. So, also, and on the top of that, say hello to I'm saying hi to my family who actually watched this stream. So
I love them.
enjoy all the stuff we just said.
Yeah. Enjoy all of that. But as always, on the channel, Mondays are for Vampire the Masquerade. 5th edition, Tuesdays I alternate between Legend of the Five Rings and Werewolf the Wild West. And Thursdays are for 7th Sea, like you just saw, and Old Gods of Appalachia. Wednesdays, we're going to be starting up our Vampire the Dark Ages over at McStabber Studios. So I'm excited about that. And Friday is the last episode of our Old Gods of Appalachia miniseries where I play Preacher Green. And I just let loose a little bit of that Baptist rage in the last episode.
You just got a little angry.
A little bit.
A little angry.
You know, there's only so many times a man can die and be brought back to life that he doesn't take it personally.
That's fair.
But as always, we take mental health on the channel very seriously, and just be aware that it is okay to not be okay. And if you need help and you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in our Twitch chat. If you're not in the United States or you need assistance, you don't want to use phone calls or text messages, you can go to findthehelpline.com. That link is also going to be in the text chat or in the description box if you're watching on YouTube later, because there are resources out there, and all you got to do is take that first step. And I know it's daunting and frightening, but just know that there are people out there who want to help you, and there are resources at your disposal, and all it takes is just that first step. So just please be aware that it is okay to not be okay, and if you need help, please find it. You know, we did some heavy discussions tonight, so I hope that you guys are okay. I know that Kat now has a new tarot card in her Strega deck, so those are always fun to kind of give you glimpses into that growth. So I'm excited to pull more and more on those threads, but as always, I cannot wait to see how May breaches this subject with the two of them, as they come with their barreling energy to try and figure out what May's husband was up to. But that'll be for the next episode. So until next time, take care of yourselves and be safe, and we will see you when we see you. Good night, guys. Bye.